last charge of Wyatt Earp and his immortals.
Oh my God. Let's finish it.
Indeed, sir.
I'm your huckleberry.
Welcome back to Cocktails, Cinema Folks, your weekly movie review podcast. As always, I am your first favorite bartender, third favorite author, Josh Price, and I am joined by my co-host, Greg.
Howdy doody.
And our producer, Shasti.
Howdy, howdy.
Welcome to the new digs, boys.
Yep.
New
Nice in
studio.
here.
Yeah.
Who did all this shit?
Man, this was
Let's paid somebody.
some blood, sweat, and tears into that set, man.
Literally.
And what better time to move into the new studio than to review an absolute classic, 1993's Tombstone. This movie was directed by George P. Cosmatos. The budget was $25 million and had a box office return of $56.5 million. Surprisingly, not higher, but this is also, number one, this is the beginning of the home video age. You know, VHS is everywhere at this
If I'm not
point.
mistaken, 93 was a hot year.
Yeah, that's the other thing.
I was a part of the box office sales. This was, fun fact, this was the first R-rated movie I ever saw in theaters.
Oh,
No
with
kidding.
Pops,
Nikes,
yeah. All right.
No kidding.
Yeah. So it holds a special place.
Yeah, historically, something huge for Shasta.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. And another reason I'm kind of surprised this didn't have a bigger box office pull is, I know I say this a lot, this is a stacked cast, but it's not a joke this time. Like, there's so many names, we can't get to them all. But, Greg, throw me the big ones.
All right. Kurt Russell as Wyatt Earp. Val Kilmer, Doc Holliday. The Stash himself, Sam Elliott as Virgil Earp. Bill Paxton, Morgan Earp. Michael Bain as Johnny Ringo. Powers Booth, Curly Bill. And, honorable mention, Billy Bob Thornton's in here, Billy Zane, and that glorious Ike character. But, there's more to add.
Ike's right there.
But that ugly son of a gun.
Yeah. Like, other than him, like, this, like, he's somewhat a supporting character, but this is a very cameo-heavy film.
Right.
Like, Charlton Heston is in it. You know what? Talking about all these people in this hot Arizona heat.
Yeah, it's getting me thirsty. Let's do this. What we got?
I need a drink.
What we got, man?
Alrighty, so this is the Showdown Sour.
Okay.
All right, folks, you have 2 ounces of whiskey. We're using a Prohibition-era whiskey here. Again, we like to play it cheap. This bottle cost me $14.
Right.
And then we've got a half ounce of our cherry brandy, and then 4 ounces of just sweet and sour mix. And there you are.
Absolutely.
Right. Cheers to coming to Tombstone, boys.
Absolutely.
I farted with my mouth when I drank that.
Oh, I'm digging it. I am digging it.
Sour, delicious. Yeah. It's good.
Yeah, it definitely gives a feel of a hot, dusty town.
Cleans your whistle. Wets your whistle.
Yeah, this is something I would I'd sit on my porch and drink if I was about to watch a shootout.
Right?
Hey, Baba.
Which, going into our first point, is what historically happened.
Right.
So, there are film historians who claim that this is possibly the most historically accurate film ever made.
Really?
Yeah, it's debated, but it's always in the top 3. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that even though they played with the timeline a little bit and they fast forwarded some stuff, the first 3/4 of this movie happened almost the way it happened in real life.
Right. Setting, of course, at the OK Corral.
The way things went in the OK Corral, there's a few different accounts of how that played out. Right. So the one in the movie is the most action packed. Yeah. Some people do say it went that way. Yeah. Some people say it was more of an ambush. But I mean, and on top of that, people knew it was coming. So when they saw the Earps walking down the street, they went out and stood on their porches. Because I mean, the OK Corral, that was it was a parking lot essentially in the middle of town.
Right.
So everybody could see it from the porch. So it was a spectacle.
Yeah.
And one of the most historically memorable shootouts.
That was actually one of the biggest thing I noticed about this movie is every time there was some issue on the streets, everybody came out to watch. So that's kind of cool that you said that because whether it was just them confronting or them just walking down the streets, people noticed they were in town.
Yeah.
even though they were there to say, we're just here to play some poker or, run a little
Well,
bit
you
of
think
a
about it,
junky
the other
game, but-
option was the other option for entertainment was going to see Billy Zane perform like his slam poetry. So like, I'd rather sit outside and have a cocktail.
Billy
and watch
Zane
him do-
slam poetry.
Yeah. He
I
killed
don't
it
know.
though, man.
Right,
The dude-
right.
Our boy killed it.
He was also killed, but so, he gave his life for the art.
Right.
But yeah,
Martyr.
this is. I will point out, while this is the most historically accurate movie, everything is accurate up to the end of the shootout. After that, things get a little fuzzy.
Okay.
They're a little out of
Interpretation.
order, or maybe
Yeah.
things didn't. Like the death of Johnny Ringo. That's still up for debate. It could have gone a few different ways. They don't know how he died exactly.
Right.
So
They left him up against a tree though.
yeah, he was
Like,
that
part's-
shot,
yeah.
which is a beautiful shot. After Doc Holliday lays him down and he does you're no Daisy at all.
Daisy.
He was just too high strung.
Daisy, if you do.
So that's one way of interpreting how he may have died.
Another one is
But he was just
suicide,
found,
right?
possibly. Yeah,
Yeah,
he was just leaned up against a tree with a bullet wound. And
Good. That was a dick.
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. But a very good foil for a character like Doc Holliday.
Right.
Like from the get-go, we are introduced to Johnny Ringo as this. In any other movie, he's Lancelot.
Yeah.
He's kind of a dirtbag, but you can still kind of see where he would be admirable or heroic. But he's pinned up against Doc Holliday, who is possibly the best character ever written for screen.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Val Kilmer in this character, maybe the best matchup known to cinema.
What a performance! What a performance!
Unbelievable. And the one-liners you get from this film, oh my goodness. I mean, just the way he gets through his TB and dollar and how this slow draw and how he talks. And, oh my goodness gracious.
Knowing how much of a method actor he was, especially
Right.
after like recent documentaries
Yeah.
come out and everything, it's like in my head, like, dude, he must have had so much fun.
Yeah,
You know what I
seriously,
mean? Doing this
seriously.
movie, just
He looks like he enjoyed it. Like you showed us that that Wizard World panel where it was just he's bearing all. He's talking not just about the ways he learned to do the character, but even some of the relationships between the guys on set.
Right.
And this director, he was mostly known for his writing.
Yeah.
And he did some directing, but this was the film with the most dialogue that he did up to this
Right.
point. Like this is a very dialogue heavy, very character heavy film, and
Yeah.
it kind of helped having Val Kilmer and Kurt Russell on set because they were able to guide him a little bit
Yeah.
as he learned how to shoot a Western.
Just to bring it back on the one point you said between Johnny Ringo and Doc Holliday.
Yeah.
That bar scene where Johnny Ringo's doing his whole spiel, flipping the gun around, being all flairish, and Doc's just
Spinning his cup.
spinning his little shot glass, like, oh, gotcha. Just that character interaction, perfect. You said it perfectly. Like they match up very well together.
Yeah.
And man, did it work.
Yeah, and I kind of like this version of events better than any other possibility as
Being
for
in
how
the red,
how he could have gone out, where you do want to see Doc Holliday go up against Johnny Ringo. You want to see who's fastest, just like Quick and the Dead.
You knew it was fast.
The whole
Ringo,
thing.
Ringo had he was fear in his eyes the whole time.
I mean, knowing that Doc Holliday, died of TB and not a gunshot wound definitely helped how I viewed
Right.
the story. But I mean, as a kid, I'm watching this movie. I'm 5 years old the first time, I think, and it was kind of a tense moment. It's like, oh, who is he gonna make it? Like we know he's sick.
Right.
Is he gonna make it?
Right, you
And
don't know.
building the tension,
Put on how
despite
sick
knowing
he really was.
how it historically went.
Yeah.
It's still he's able to pull that tension out of the moment with it's that classic spaghetti western shot
Yep.
where it's
Sure.
the cowboy shot, the waist up, static,
Absolutely.
and all the movement is in the eyes and the dialogue.
Yeah. And going into the camera shots, there wasn't too many heavy tricks in this one. It was cool to see how they stuck to that old style of film, with the four guys riding alongside. And that aerial shot's so tough to get, especially, even it's 93, but still.
Yeah.
I'll
just that-
disagree a little bit
Yeah?
in the
as far
sense
as
where
there wasn't too many tricks.
So for like Butch Cassidy and Sundance Kid, like you're talking about camera tricks
Yeah.
and almost a prehistoric time as far as
Yeah.
like
Film
effects
goes,
are
yeah.
done, done
Yep.
now. Like they're in that sense, you're correct. But like in like all these pictures that we pulled up, man, like these are just shots from the movie.
Right.
Like the portraits
Yeah.
are all amazing throughout the entire. And you normally get the cowboy shot from your hip up high, you know, from the holster up to the hat. You know what I mean? That's the cowboy shot. And in this one, I like. The camera work is great in my opinion. Maybe like goes back just like the photography and like the portrait stuff I've been doing. But like I really appreciated that watching it this time for sure.
I think that's what elevates it above, you know, its peers, because at the same period of time you had the movie Wyatt Earp that came out, which you know, no contest, this movie is the better product.
Yeah, right.
Part of that is the camera work. Part of that is the memorable dialogue and the absolutely phenomenal acting.
Right.
You know, so you had at approximately the same period of time telling the same story, a superior film in Tombstone and just an okay film in Wyatt Earp.
Right.
And nobody remembers Wyatt Earp.
Right.
You know?
And the character progression, I think, lend a lot to this film as well. I mean, Wyatt Earp went through probably 3 to 4 stages of his mental thought process. You know, Doc Holliday, he stole the show. But it's the Wyatt Earp movie kind of thing, you know, going along with all that stuff. He kind of showed how he progressed and what he really wanted out of it. I mean, obviously that's all for interpretation because we really don't know, just known by what's written. But
it was
cool to see that.
Yeah, it's kind of
Kurt
cool.
Russell's still, you know, vague and kind of quirky and you know, at some points, you know, the hell's coming with me kind of thing. You know, we get you pumped up, but it's still like, all right.
You tell him I'm coming, and hell's coming with me. You hear?
I got pumped up.
Coming with me.
Yeah. You want to run through a wall like Kool-Aid Man after that line. And it's so goofy. But it's a testament to just the ability of the actors in this movie, where when Kurt Russell is the weak point of your movie, you've got a great cast.
Right.
Yeah.
You know? So he's able to take this cheesy line and make it such a powerful, impactful moment.
Yeah, true.
And to layer on top of that, like Wyatt Earp is very much the King Arthur in this story.
Yeah.
And it's kind of a blend in the between Arthur and like Jason from Jason and the Argonauts. Somewhat similar, like a quest for glory, a quest for revenge, but it played out in real life.
Right.
And it's really cool to see art imitate or life imitate art in that way. And then to kind of photocopy that into art imitating life, imitating art. It was just something that stuck out to me while I was watching.
For revenge, he's out for a reckoning. You know?
Well, when he's not over there walking on water.
Well, you said that there's some truth to that, like as far as what's written in some of the
from
as far as like that scene where he's getting shot at by Curly Bob or whatever his name is,
Curly Bill,
coming at him, shooting him with a 6-shooter over and over again, never hits him, and everybody's like, "What?"
So there's this the shootout that happened in the creek was actually a bigger, like there were more guns involved than the OK Corral, and it's just these guys running at each other, shooting, and after the fight, the reason that whole he's walking on water thing is in the movie is Wyatt Earp looked down at his duster and it was just riddled with bullet holes. He didn't have a single scratch on him, never got shot once. And like there's a hole between his legs, there's holes above his shoulders, all the way down his sides.
Didn't even get
and
that
they started
bulletproof duster.
They started saying like he's been chosen by God, clearly, or the devil rides with him.
Yeah.
No.
No.
I hope that was the most historically accurate part because that has always got me.
Like, wait, what?
That has always tickled me.
No.
It's again another like really goofy dialoog moment.
Right.
Just
It's like we have Kurt Russell. We have to do it this way.
just choose the fat.
But it was totally like Bobby Boucher. Like,
no.
Yeah.
But no, great scene, great flick. I mean, like I said, the characters, the growth. I mean, the way they played off each other, fantastic, man. I love it.
I think the highlights for this film, you know, outside of the historical accuracy, are obviously the prowess of these actors. Like this is peak performance from so many people. I mean, Sam Elliott always plays the same character, but he does it well, and everything is believable. Like you don't expect. Like the him screaming no as he crosses the creek. In real life, are you really going to take the time to come up with something really badass to say? Or are you just like going to shout the first thing comes to your mind? Like, I'm just going to be shouting, like screaming. So it's believable in that sense.
You're right.
And it
not everybody's quirky and mean and quirky.
Right, not everybody's
mean.
Doc Holliday.
Yeah.
Doc Holliday is just Johnny on the spot.
Yeah, for sure.
And Wyatt Earp, not so much. He's just a former lawman who wants to make some money.
Player. No, it's Chopin. Frederick fucking Chopin. I love that so much. That's right. He's the best character I think that's ever walked the face of the big screen. I don't know.
He's up there
at least,
and it sucks because it's like you think about Kilmer's best roles. You know, this is one of them. Or Iceman and Top Gun. He was still second build in all the movies. Two Kurt Russell, two Tom Cruise. Not to take anything away from, but like, you know what I mean? Guys are more capable than anything we could ever do. But to have Val there and kind of undershadowed, even though he had that.
He outshines his leading men so often.
Yeah.
What's kind of stinks about this one too, with this TB, it's kind of weirdly foreshadowing to what he's been going through lately. You know, with his battle with lung cancer,
with throat cancer. I mean, all the love to him. I mean,
he changed the game. I mean, one of Shash's favorite was Real Science, right? Or Real Geniuses.
Real Genius, and honestly, I mean, MacGruber's
too.
MacGruber.
He's a gem, man.
The Saint, like he's a prolific actor.
Absolutely,
and he seems like a wonderful person. So there's I don't know if it's out yet, but there's a documentary that's coming out that is primarily using his home footage. No, he would film everything in his life. So there's
super sad.
There's all this, there's all this footage of all the movies he's been on, all the actors he's worked with, and it's just fascinating to see someone who loved film and what they did so much and just had such a he's obviously still alive, has such a vigor for life that he wants to document it.
Yeah.
And to suffer such a huge hit to where like he's only recently been able to talk. Yeah. And even then it's still through a voice box. I mean, all the good vibes to him. Hopefully he recovers. I'd love to see him get one of
the best
role.
actors ever.
I agree.
Even since Top Gun, he was like categorized as one of the actors who's tough to work with because he was like, he was like he's so method that he
everyone else to a different. He would,
when he's the Iceman, like he took that role.
Yeah.
Like when they say cut, he's bullying Tom Cruise still. And like
when you walk around that flat top hat,
right? But other actors know that. You know what I mean? Producers catch on to that, but like some people on the set are like, he's.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny thinking about Top Gun, how he always does play, like his most memorable roles are him being the secondary guy. And what's that line from the end of Top Gun? You can be my wingman anytime. No, you can be mine.
Right.
It's interesting.
Nice
comparison to real life.
Nice.
No, I think we all agree. Val Kilmer,
it's our boy,
steals the show.
Knocked it out of the park.
I mean, I could go on and on about this. You guys have anything around the horn you wanted to get to?
No, man. Amazing movie.
Yeah, it's always one of my favorites when it's on TV. It's one of those ones that come on TV where you don't change the channel. It's like, what? We'll just ride this one out, no matter where it starts.
Even during the commercials, you wait, you put on mute.
Yeah.
No, I think just to round this out before we appropriately do our taco ratings. This movie may not have been a huge box office hit, but in the home video and TV replay eras, it has gone beyond being a cult hit, and it's actually a popular hit. Everybody can quote something from this movie, and that speaks to the quality of the craft.
I'm your huckleberry.
Yep.
There it is.
That's the number one.
So, that being said, here at Sippable Opinions, we take our movie ratings very seriously.
So serious.
Cocktail Cinema rates our movies out of 100 tacos. So Gregory, out of 100 tacos, how do you score Tombstone?
Tough one, dude. I want to go high, but I want to go low too, because cinematically I don't think it's there for me. Character interaction, yes. 85. 85. That's where I stand.
Solid B. Yeah. I can dig it. Shasti?
I give Tombstone an 80.
Really?
An 80, yeah. It's up there for Westerns for me. I wouldn't say it's quite my favorite, but it is, like I said, first Western I've definitely seen. And first rated R movie. Val Kilmer's my guy. 80 points.
I am. It's been a while since we disagreed this much. I give this movie an 89.
Okay.
I think.
So what do you say, Greg?
85.
85.
So we're kind of splitting
80.
it.
Okay.
Yeah, they're across the 80s there.
Yeah.
Across the 80s. This was a 90s film. I do think that, especially given the fact that this is kind of the end of the old school Western era.
Sure.
You know, where it's always good guys versus bad guys. Where after this you got things like Unforgiven, and you know, the 310 to Yuma, where it was much more nuanced as far as the morality went.
They dove in a little bit more.
This and Silverado, in my opinion, are some of the last like hurrahs for that era of Western, and for that reason I give it an 89. Okay. It does what it sets out to do very well.
Absolutely.
Alrighty, boys.
It's
all right.
Oh wow.
We're pretty much there.
All right, so Rotten Tomatoes critics give it a 74, and it's got a 94 audience score. So we kind of
we're sitting in the middle of all that.
Yeah.
Between
So I'd be willing to wager there's a lot of people who agree with us.
Yeah.
Including, dear audience, maybe you.
Maybe.
If you are watching this on YouTube, go ahead and drop down to the comments and give us your taco rating for Tombstone. Tell us why you do or do not agree with us. Do you even like Westerns? I certainly hope so, because you watched all the way to this point. Since you watched all the way to this point, you know the drill. Like, subscribe, hit the bell. If you're listening to this on a podcast network, please hop on over and subscribe. Give us a rating. Every little bit counts, and it helps, and we appreciate it. If you'd like to go even further with your full-fledged support of Sippable Opinions, head on over to our Patreon page at Sippable Opinions, or patreon.com/Sippable Opinions, where, for as little as $1 a month, you can get exclusive access to all of our shows, early access to all of our shows, exclusive access to a couple of shows that are only on Patreon, and some exclusive merch. I know I got tongue-tied a little bit there, but I've been practicing my Doc Holiday all night, so I was talking slow. So when I went back to my normal speed,
you're on that syrup.
I went back to my normal speed. My tongue's just
extra hop on there.
So, Greg, Shasti,
Yes, sir.
I'm so glad to be back in the studio with you guys.
Amen.
It is wonderful to be in this new spot. Audience, it is great to be back with you. We will see you next time, but for now, we gotta say goodbye.
Let's finish it. Indeed, sir.
Drinks are on me.